find us
Mic
on
check.
the tube.
Mic check.
No, you're gonna have to wait until she pulls up the stream, man.
Oh my goodness.
There we are.
There's all this waiting,
Yeah.
delay.
Ugh.
All right, there we are.
Yeah, we're here.
All right.
Probably
Okay,
going to be
I'm-
speaking a little bit louder than this because I get excited sometimes.
Yes. And when things pop up on the screen, you can't help but get a wee bit loud.
Yup. So what do we have?
I'm more
to
concerned
All right,
with
you
the
guys
vast
sound great,
sounding
and I'm just
soft.
listening for myself right now. This is the clearest I've sounded in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you,
you're.
your
Razer.
volume soft.
Sponsor me.
Oh, you got a Razer headset.
Yes.
Nice.
Not from Amazon during Prime Day.
It was
Your
glorious.
glitched Prime Day.
Yeah, I tried to enter it right when it started, and the whole thing was down.
Did they actually have sales on worthy things, or was it just a gimmick? I kind of read
got-
some news articles that showed it was kind of gimmicky.
I got an 8-inch Fire tablet and case for $100.
That's
So-
not too bad.
Yeah.
They had a 43-inch smart TV 4K for $249.99.
Ooh, okay, now that sounds like a swanky deal. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was a Toshiba. I'm not saying that I got it or anything, but I'm gonna
She
be
got
a
it.
4K soon, bitches.
Oh man.
But I didn't buy it on Prime Day because I support the workers. Support the workers.
Absolutely. They are the backs on which we get our cheap cheese puffs.
Mhm.
That's something I hadn't had in a while.
Yeah,
Cheetos.
dude, they're gross. I don't like them.
I will eat Cheetos every once in a long while.
Blech.
I'll get a hankering for
Oh,
that
man.
cheesiness.
You want to remember what 4th grade tasted like? Cheetos.
Yep.
So, okay, can we need to actually start this thing, don't we? We're running out of time.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, this is episode 26 of our DerNami show thing that we do. And how do we do this? It's been 3 weeks since we did it. I feel like I've
Yep.
completely forgotten it all. I'm Scorch. Arcadius Zero is here. Vast Empires is also here. We have the announcement of who won our giveaway. We have what else? Anthem to talk about. We have Fortnite Season 5 we could hit, I guess. We might hit up this Guild Wars 2 thing that's going on. The whole Splatoon hacking deal, which is really strange. We had somebody else leave BioWare. It's been kind of a weird and very mixed, maybe towards the negative end of the gaming world the last couple of weeks after E3.
It can't all be sunshine and rainbows.
That's true. That's what E3 was for. And also weird Andrew WK things that popped up that nobody was jazzed for. But that was 3 weeks ago, and we already covered that.
Yep, in detail.
In detail, yes.
But anyway, where should we start? Who wants to start? What are we doing?
Tell me about this
Well,
Splatoon hacking thing. I saw the article about that.
Okay.
Didn't click it. Didn't read it yet. Didn't have time.
Well-
I'm curious.
I'll give you a quick rundown of it if Fast will do us the favor of getting us into a match.
I will do it. I have 2 llamas left. I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Gotta
It's
get to these
cool.
llamas.
So-
Fortnite is celebrating. Go ahead.
So here's my understanding of it, because I've only really heard it in passing. Nintendo is having quite the problem with hacking in Splatoon, as well as various other things. People have managed some workarounds in Super Mario Odyssey, and there's been a pretty lively modding community crop up in quite a few places, but those are kind of positive, not necessarily Odyssey, because that involves dicks, but Splatoon, they're having such a bad hacking problem with the game that one person in particular, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, was so fed up with it that they hacked the Splatoon leaderboards in order to get the attention of Nintendo to say, hey, you have a problem. Like, he left a message on their leaderboards that said, you have a problem. You have to fix this. Like, this game is not going to end up being well. They banned that guy.
What?
They straight up banned that guy.
That sounds
That guy-
just like Nintendo.
That he specifically put in the leaderboard, please add anti-cheat.
Yep.
Please add anti-what?
Anti-cheat.
Anti-cheat.
Oh, anti-cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo don't take kindly to the hacking of their games and systems.
Well-
so I can definitely see why he was banned, even though it was for a positive reason.
It really seems like they shot the messenger in this one. You know what I
did.
mean? This guy didn't
Mhm.
really. He was not the perpetrator of bad acts within Nintendo's property. He was trying to get their attention so that they can work on these ne'er-do-wells in their community, and ended up getting buried alive in a shallow grave.
Well, the problem with Nintendo is they've been known to be pretty reactionary, like to a T.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And the other downside is that they can absolutely do that within their rights because of all that stuff you don't read when you accept and play a game. Well, nested in there is the whole fact that if you cheat or do whatever in their game that's unintended, they can ban you from it without any concessions.
Yeah.
And so they auto did that because the other thing is that they're embarrassed to high heaven of how easily someone was able to just walk up to their leaderboard and basically graffiti it. And so they completely purged that guy so that can't happen again and fixed that bug first to control any major PR, and now they're going after the minor PR is what I'm guessing they're doing.
I guess. It's always
It still
been.
doesn't reflect really well in
Yeah.
terms of the overall message. I do agree with you there.
Ooh, are we
I
going somewhere?
understand
Somebody joined
We are
us.
going somewhere.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm public. Crap.
You're
Well, we're gonna have to
public. Why?
leave this mission.
Abandoned!
Okay. Man, it's been a long time since I've actually left anything. All right.
Reinvite and priorities.
I'm gone.
Sorry about that,
I
guys.
also-
So, yeah.
It's been a long time since I've been a leader.
We planned this really well, didn't we?
Hmm.
Oh.
So, but what I was
Anyways.
about to say is that what
Yeah.
really gets me on this one is that I know a lot of Splatoon, but it
Mhm.
still skews young.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
to
yeah. Well, that was the
to
intended
take-
audience.
and so to drag on and on, drag your feet on something that's affecting like a part of your gaming population who can't, like who physically or mentally or emotionally cannot do anything about this is terrible.
Yeah, it really is. You want
They're being-
the new generation of all little gamers not to grow up like COD freaks, you know?
Hmm
But that's kind of
Dangerous
where
spiraling pit.
that's where you're pushing them, Nintendo. Don't do that to our youth.
Don't do it
They
to us.
deserve better.
They do. They really do.
Don't let it turn into an Xbox full of
Ah.
screaming, cussing 12-year-olds
Yeah,
Please don't.
that have all banged your mother.
all of them, every single one of them.
Mhm.
Disgusting.
Insert funny
Disgusting.
meme.
But y'all wanna? This wasn't on our notes for this podcast, but did you hear about the modder that was digging around in that game, Aliens: Colonial Marines?
No.
Did you hear about that at all?
No. Enlighten us.
So Aliens: Colonial Marines, it was put out by Gearbox, and it was a steaming turd of a game when it came out. I think it came out in 2015 or 2016.
Games like that pretty much get thrown to the mod community pretty fast.
Yeah, and honestly, to be perfectly frank, Gearbox does not have a very good track record except for Borderlands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this game was garbage. The AI was awful. There were like glitches in the UI,
Oh,
all
don't bring them
kinds of stuff. I think it was sitting on Metacritic at a 41.
up.
Yeah. But this
That's
guy
pretty awful.
decided that he'd take a look through it all. Hey Danny, welcome to the stream.
Welcome
This
to the stream, Danny.
Guy decided that he would take a look through it all and realized that there was a typo in the AI characteristics code. And it had to do with AI tethering around the character. And they misspelled tethering in their call to all other future
Oh
works.
my god. The
So
call
he
script was
changed.
spelled
He
incorrectly.
changed. It was like TAETHER or something like that. So he took out the extra letter, and it improved the enemy AI like 1,000-fold. It actually ended up being kind of a frightening, kind of good game after he changed the spelling of
Dude,
one single letter.
This is why I am not a programmer. This is this exact example is the precise reason I hate programming with an utter passion.
Yeah.
And just
It's awful.
yes,
If you ever
kudos
get
to
the
him for
chance,
finding that.
if you ever get the chance to program, don't.
Ever.
But someone
Just
needs to do
run
it.
away.
Yeah, someone does, but that's
Yeah,
not me.
Let those very unique individuals who enjoy doing that stuff continue to do it,
That's true. That's true.
Ugh.
and leave
Yeah.
the rest of us to not have to do it out of necessity.
Oh man. That
That's
guy.
good.
Worst.
Yeah.
Just the freaking worst. Kudos to that guy. Maximum props.
And then I have another thing that is not on the list. If you don't mind me
Keep on bringing it.
keeping on going. There was a guy
Roll
that
with it.
remade the favorite Favy PT on PC. It was a little fan project of him. Do you guys remember PT, right? It was
T.
It's a little teaser that Konami produced that was going to be Hideo Kojima's next game. He was working with Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus on this before Konami kicked him to the curb and Sony picked him up and he's now making Death Stranding. Well, anyway, they put out PT, and it's this little hallway runner, really dementedly scary demo that they put out that has
Sounds
since
like
been
Kojima to me.
that it's since been pulled from the PlayStation Store. I think it was only on PlayStation.
Hmm.
But a fan decided, you know what? I like that so much. I'm going to remake all of it for PC.
Oh.
And
Oh.
On his own, like, everything?
yeah, so he decided
Wow.
that he would remake it. Well, he started gaining a little bit of traction, and people started to pay attention to it. And then Konami called him up and said, cease and desist, or we're going to sue.
Yeah, I did read about this. Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
but in
Poor
that
guy.
same call, they offered him an internship.
I would think so. It's like, okay, you were good enough to completely duplicate our game.
Yeah.
You're worth something.
At the point
Well,
of
that has a
them,
surprisingly happy ending.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Normally cease and desists end with, now your life is ruined. Enjoy.
yeah, I don't like Konami. I don't like the way they do business. I especially don't like them after they kicked Hideo Kojima out, which was their, moving force towards everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have said no to that internship. I really would have.
And quite well, he could have. But I think the excitement of the people whom he was trying to copy their game offering him a job at making new and different games was probably pretty enticing.
Yeah,
No lie.
I agree. But I think that's about all I have to rail on off of our list. Do we want to move on to something else?
Well, I think that we've.
Chow is here. Hi, Chow. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome. I think that we have spent enough time on these random things. Let's get to the topic that we can go on and on and on about.
Are we going
'Cause we
to
got
talk
a
about
lot to
Anthem
talk
now?
about. We do have a lot to talk about.
Ah, it fills me with pride to talk about it.
It's
But
not
really,
even
I'm
yours.
excited for it. But it feels so good to talk about. Like a breath of fresh air.
Well, Arcadius, this is your wheelhouse. You can take it away if you want.
Oh my goodness.
There's
So,
so much
as of
Anthony
late,
that
You
they've
can
released
hear him
some-
smile through the microphone,
Oh,
right?
yes,
You can hear him smile.
That stretching sound, those are my cheeks on my face. Just in case that was taken the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah.
But oh my goodness, I'm glad you got that vest. As of recently, they released some new gameplay videos where they played the first bout of, I guess, a general mission that was 4-player, and it was different from the one that they showed in E3. It was a little longer in length, showcased a little bit more of the team play and a little bit more of the abilities of each of the suits, except that mystery one
The
that is
Interceptor.
lightweight with the green fins that nobody knows anything about other than it's super fast, because in one of the trailer videos,
Ninja.
one of the characters is about to get crushed, and they're utterly whisked away in the blink of an eye by that suit and whomever the AI is that pilots it. So,
I think it was actually a person.
well,
I think they had a
it was part of
4-player.
The part I'm referring to
demo.
is the cinematic piece.
Oh, okay,
where
okay.
her face shield is open and she's looking up, and that thing is about to crush her, or something is about to crush her, and then she's just whisked away. And then like, you all right? It's like, well, you just hauled me 50 yards in about half a second, so yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Excitement.
Yeah, so the dynamics of the play, I think one thing that might have been different from the E3 is the flying, where I don't think they showed an overheat meter during the fly of E3 just so they could demo the fact that you fly. But this time I noticed it, so I don't know if it was just not in before and it is now, or it was and it was just very subtle and I didn't recognize it before. But I extremely like the physics ability of cooling down your jets by either doing a quick dive or dipping in and out of some water, and you're instantly cooled and the meter resets.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
nice. If you can plan it strategically, you could just fly around forever. Also,
And
Vast.
pretty much indefinitely. And that includes hover shooting as well. If you
Danny
pass
wants to
through a
join us,
waterfall or
Vast.
something,
Send her an invitation.
On it.
if you pass through a waterfall or something while you're hover shooting, then yes, you can
Hover
absolutely
shooting.
continue to fly indefinitely. And oh my goodness, I need me some Colossus right now.
Dude,
goodness.
you are bent over this Colossus right now.
Ermagerd Furpower. That's all I can say about that. He has bombs for days. And
For
his super,
days.
it's basically just pulling out a little mini tactical nuke and
Yeah.
then destroying whatever it is.
You're welcome, Danny.
Much to be excited about. However, I will say I like the Ranger's ability to Iron Man style lock on to everything within view and shoot it all. If
Yeah?
not for not that much damage, but you will hit everything on the screen. Very good for crowd control scenarios. We'll definitely play as well. But kind of getting off track a little bit there. But the
We are?
mechanics we got to see a
Didn't
little
know
bit
that.
more of. The dynamics of team play, the fact that each suit's abilities will play a pretty important role in how you attack a mission, because not all missions can be accomplished with just whatever suit you want. And the other thing that I really liked that the devs or the game reviewers really told us in their gameplay is the fact that the enemies do not scale in difficulty. They are the difficulty that they are, and if you're not good enough, you gotta get good. So you can go later and knock out that enemy, whether it's with a team or a higher leveled up you. So the fact that they don't kind of cheapen the enemies when it's just you and then make them like oddly stacked whenever you're with people, in my opinion, is really nice. Because then there's like a common ground prestige to defeating certain enemies. Like when it comes up and like, oh, there's this thing in a cave, and everyone's like, oh my god, no one's killed it yet. Like, oh my goodness, like this thing is retarded. Like it's stupid strong. Like how? And then it'll be the first team of 4. It's almost like, I don't want to say raid difficulties, but there's gonna be some bosses that are just like, dear Lord, how do we do this?
Yeah,
and
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a nice challenge.
Being able to dynamically and as a team take on that stuff for the first time that's not scaled and is what it is, there's a little, I guess, I don't know, extra excitement and reward in beating enemies like that.
Yeah.
And not the cookie cutter, defeatables over and over and over again. I wasn't gonna say Archon Priest, but I almost did. But it's out. It's out.
I was going to.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You're that.
It's not that.
Destiny, you fucks.
Better and brighter. Better and brighter.
Yeah. So it's I'm still not going to pre-order it out of principle for the last time EA effed me over, but I will definitely. As long as no major nonsense occurs between now and when that game releases, we'll be digitally buying it at least the night before, because that still counts as, I guess it still counts as pre-order.
You can still get the pre-order bonus.
Close enough to where I know that nothing's going to really get stupid like certain other games. I don't feel, but yeah.
So there are two things that I'd like to bring up since we're on Anthem. This is Anthem related. It's pulled from the same source material that you were referencing. And one of them is that this world is, gigantic. And we've heard that before, but it seems to be truly larger than, say, Destiny, which is, go down this hallway and here's a room. And go down this hallway and here's a room. And the other thing is that I think the out in the world, when you're out in the world, the instance cap is maxed at 4. So you can have your squad of 4 and not run into another soul. That means you can completely
the world is your oyster.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about grief, none of that. It's all good. And I'm super happy about that.
Like Borderlands, where like when you defeat certain enemies, does everyone get a cut of the loot, or is it first come first serve for grabs?
I don't know. I don't know how they're going to be.
I think that was a question that was asked in the AMA. So also the week that they released that information, and some of the other gaming websites had their walkthrough. I think IGN was one of them. The creative director and another employee hadn't asked me anything on Twitch. That started late, so I actually missed it because it was supposed to start on time, and then I had a work meeting. Get your stuff together, guys.
Life responsibilities.
but I don't think that they answered it straight away, but I think they said something along the lines of, it will be your loot.
Okay, that's also a really nice feature, because that means not only are you not having to subtly compete with the people that you really want to play online with, but you can just go about it all normal, stress-free.
Yeah.
Well, minus the enemy stress, but yeah, stress-free. Non-compete for loot. I'm a fan. I'm a major fan of that.
There was something else that I was going to bring up about it, and I remember.
The shenanigans.
Well, there are shenanigans, but that's the. Hold on, I have one more thing before I forget it again. They said that you're going to be picking up parts for your suit, and you're going to be leveling up your pilot. And the way they said this would work is that you can tailor your pilot so that it's more like choosing a playstyle, and the way you outfit your suit and the way you choose your suit is more like choosing a loadout for a mission. So the way that they work that,
because they want you to use all the suits. And come a time
absolutely.
Where everyone needs to have a different suit. So your normal main suit you won't main. Or there might even be suits where you all have to be a certain type of suit together collectively, so then it won't be your main, and they might rotate through that. Like, for all we know,
possible.
we all might have to be that elemental one where we
Oh,
all
the
have
storm?
to have lightning out the Yiz-Yang for an enemy or
The
something.
Yiz-Yang.
Yeah, who knows? Or
Well, you
there
know
might be
I'm a
another one
BP.
that's like the tank enemy, so that means Colossus up. Everybody.
Yeah. I feel like on the solo end of the spectrum, or even the co-op end of the spectrum, it's gonna just in gameplay work a little bit like Titanfall 2, where you're going through the mission structure and there is the meet your javelin, which is what the suits are called. And so for this mission, you're going to meet the lightning magic one, and
The
then the
Storm.
Colossus, and then the Interceptor.
Yeah.
Storm, thank you. I can't remember his name. Storm and Interceptor. And yeah, and so, but after that, I just I really hope that they have the missions where, yeah, it would be better to run 2 Colossus and then a Ranger, so you can get those combo moves better. I hope there's that kind of strategy that you can use in the game.
Well, see, the good part about that is even if they don't outright say you need to, we can just do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we'll
I
figure
was
it
gonna
out.
say-
is
you
what
can
I'm
just be
saying.
like,
I was gonna say that I was gonna just completely break your tactics and always run Storm. So, it could work the other way. I'm gonna be
Well, we're
running
just gonna-
Storm 24/7.
and
I
you're
feel
gonna hear
like
me
this is
whisper in the
payback for
background.
Destiny.
Don't have enough gun? Use more gun.
I feel like this is payback, and we're going to be picking you up a lot.
What did we
this is
do?
gonna
What did
be
we
payback
do
from
in
Return.
Destiny? I mean,
You
we
were
all
always
had our
like-
own characters.
No, I meant as far as you're going to be the glass cannon,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to spend time picking you up, whereas in Destiny, you were always picking us up.
That's true. But I was always picking various other people up because, it's a cheap,
Well, everyone
disgusting
knows that everyone
game.
was picking me up after getting struck by lightning 1,000 times. So, yeah.
Seriously, Vess, you got to upload that. You
I
got to
do. It's
upload
so
that.
good
funny.
video.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
The chuckle fest out of that is it's good. It's award winning.
Even after all this time and all this on my end dislike, it is still a great moment.
Yeah,
Gotta do it.
absolutely. That's the wrong thing. What am I looking for? Map. All right.
So the last thing about Anthem that I can think of right now is the news that someone has left BioWare.
Yes, indeed.
Dum, dum, dum.
It's kind of a sad day. We're hearing a lot of people leaving BioWare. But it sounds like this guy, who, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your name. It's around there somewhere. Wanted to work on less stressful titles. And really, I don't blame him. He's been with BioWare for upwards
Seems
of
like
20
an apt
years.
request.
So, this guy has been there since, I want to say, Baldur's Gate, which is a long time ago. And it sounds like this guy just wants to change. And I'm all right with that.
And the people said no.
Well, I don't really think anybody could say no to this guy. And he's like, I'm leaving by, and everybody's like, damn it! Okay.
What, did they not concession quick enough and he just up and quit?
I think it sounds as if, one, he was well respected, so his idea went, and two, I don't remember what two was. My brain is not working well.
I think,
Cannot rain today. Has the
so
dump.
he's been with BioWare for 22 years. I just went online to look for his name, and it was James Olin. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. So
Okay.
he'd been with the company for 22 years, and
Wow.
and on the surface, it wasn't like oh no, BioWare is terrible, and
Yeah. How dare they do this to me?
yeah, and Anthem's gonna
Shame,
fail,
shame.
leave. It's more of, I'm retiring for this company because I've been here 22 years, and I want to do something else.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, if you've been at any place for that amount of time, it's like, yeah, you put your dues in, you're good to go. You can go now.
Yeah. I don't blame him one bit. Not in the slightest.
But he was, massive part of the Mass Effect and Dragon Age team. So I guess the concern is what is going to happen with Dragon Age now.
I think it's going to
Because they are
continue
working
on.
on.
Yeah, they're
I'm
working
sure
on
it
Dragon
is,
Age.
but you know, when you don't have your franchise or like
Your A-team.
yes, who's going to step to the plate? Will it be you?
Well, it's not the
Johnny
Andromeda
G?
team.
Sounds like it's the intern's job.
The intern.
intern.
Intern, you have the face. Go. But I don't know how to
But what do I do with this? Don't screw this up. You have one chance. But I don't think I've ever developed the game
You've
before.
got to do this well, Johnny B. Intern.
It's sink or swim now, Johnny. There's no turning back.
Danny says she's really concerned about Dragon Age. I don't blame you. It's a scary time in the world of BioWare
And gaming.
and gaming. There was a guy. He's pretty high up in Sony. Forgive me, I'm completely blanking on various people's names today, but
Not a name day.
yeah, he was saying that video games are getting so expensive to create, like AAA experiences, that
Yeah.
they are ending up making products that are all very samey because they've invested too much for the game to fail. And if it fails, they'd be quite literally out of a studio because they couldn't, float the debt of a failed product.
Well, there is something to be said of not reinventing the wheel every time you develop a game. You want to use a lot of those same engines and, skins and render styles because you just spent all that time up front making it. Trying to remake all that from scratch is really time intensive.
That's true.
But don't you?
Absolutely.
But don't
buy
you
that.
also want to, like, innovate and keep?
You can, but even in any industry, that innovate buzzword is constantly thrown around. And quite frankly, in areas that I've had my own professional experience in, I just immediately eye roll as soon as I hear some sales guy or VP talk about how innovative they're being. I'm like, no, you're not. You're taking a thing, you changed a feature, you spray painted it a different color. That is not innovation. And that's a huge part of what they claim innovation is. So people that actually innovate and actually come up with things new, the market gives them the credit of that innovation because of how much hand over fist money they'll make. So
Money.
the proof is in the pudding on that kind of stuff, like Fortnite, for instance, and the popularity of the Battle Royale scheme. They win, they got first place, everyone else is getting the crumbs and after effects of it. And any other major video game that's come out that's been super successful at doing something new that hasn't actually been done before, and it's not a reskinning of something else, that's innovation.
That's not stopping people from piling on to things like Battle Royale game types or genres or anything like that. We see things of that genre pop out of the woodwork 24/7. Battlefield 5 has a Royale game type that they're currently working on.
I mean, everyone wants to be part of the money wheelhouse.
The
same thing
absolutely.
happened when Overwatch came out. Everyone tried to make an Overwatch copy. Some companies are still trying to do it.
Hey.
And everyone just wants to be a part of the big money maker.
I don't blame them. I want to be part of the big money maker. That's why
That's why
we're doing podcasts,
Follow
guys.
the money.
Oh, that's not to share our opinions and to create a awesome community for the fans.
Motive
Don't know.
Wink,
It
wink.
never
wink.
happened, internet. Disregard that.
Oh
But
man.
yeah. Let's press this button. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, press the button. Go do the thing. Danny, you are shiny.
She is.
Shiny.
Shiny shoes.
So what's next that we have to talk about? Who has
And
a look on the list?
completely failing this entire
Well, since
thing
we were
right
talking
here.
about money and Fortnite making
the
so much
monies.
money, there was a story that we outlined for our podcast about Epic changing its cost share or price sharing model with its different various studios who license the Unreal Engine. I'm getting this all wrong. Hold on.
Yay! It's not just me.
It's not just you. In my defense, I was having tongue twister time way earlier today.
Oh yeah, me too. Work was not fun today.
So
the only thing that I know about profits and Fortnite is that they were making upwards of 300 million a quarter. So yeah, they're
now is that with their gaming and engine licensing combined, or just like?
I think that was off majority Battle Royale.
Wow.
Yeah, they're
Good grief.
annihilating the competition right now.
Whew.
And it makes me wonder how long this can last.
Well, that's why they're milking it for everything they've got, so they can build up a nice piggy bank. If it's one thing developing studios need, it's a piggy bank for those developments in the future.
Yeah.
When there's no major backer. And in fact, that I think is a really good trend if they're fiscally responsible with it. Then they don't have to depend so much on a developer that will then start contractually controlling their output.
Yeah.
So just so we get the real numbers out there to people.
Yeah.
Just so we get the real numbers out there. Originally, Epic took 30% of sales, so the revenue split was 70-30, right? And this is for their Unreal Engine use.
Okay.
And the royalties expected of the future sales. They are now going to bump that up to 88% for developers, and Epic is going to be taking 12%. So they're going from 30% to 12%, and it's retroactive. It's retroactive.
What?
So I don't know. Like,
why would they do it retroactively?
I don't know. Like, when is it going? Is it just going to January of this year? Is it going to, I don't know what the dates are, but it's retroactive. So they will be returning a certain percentage of their profit to these development studios.
Wow.
That's probably going along that same line of thought, that they're trying to give the studios a little extra boost and not have to be so joined at the hip with publishers. Because, I mean, with all the EA snafus that have happened, I mean, just to use them as the prime example, for a developer to have its own fiscal sway and talk in the matter, because money talks when it comes to those big contracts and stuff, if the developer's in a better position to negotiate, it can be an all-around better experience for the consumer because one is not totally domineering the plans of the other.
Yeah, it's very true.
I see it as a better balance striking, but it comes at obviously the cost of money, and if they're willing to voluntarily give up some of that money, then that's basically the traction they're trying to, or the track they're trying to push everyone to.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea that they're at least currying favor with...
There's a flinger up here.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay.
That they're at least currying favor with other developers in their pond, I guess you could say.
Well, the other thing is to obviously help people want to use their engine, because
that's true.
A developer's going to get money from someone that they're using their engine from, basically like a discount, they're going to be like, hell yeah, we're going to use this again. So that's another good selling point.
Yeah.
It could also be that they're starting to come to the end of that life cycle, and maybe they're working on Unreal 5 right now.
I'm just trying to push out what they got with the current Unreal.
Yeah.
Again, there's probably a lot of, I would say, long-term fiscal things going on with that.
Which is very good. I think Epic Games understands that this tidal wave that they're surfing right now, this tsunami, is not going to last forever. And I am definitely seeing at least some writing on the wall when it has to deal with starting pushback on whether or not Fortnite is actually all that it's cracked up to be. I can see some hate starting to trickle through, and
Well, if you can't win, baby, you got to get good.
I
Got a
think
lot of slingers out
what
there.
I meant is that they've definitely reached saturation with this game,
Yeah.
and what they do after saturation is going to determine how long they're going to stay in the video game business.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. That's a nice segue into the most recent update, which is Season 5 of Battle Royale, and maybe a little bit of celebration for the year-long anniversary of the original base game that I still enjoy playing with friends.
Well, we're playing it right now, aren't we?
We're playing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on sale right now.
Someday I'd like to get farther in the
take a look at
campaign for this
Fortnite.
game when we're not just playing it for stream,
We got
but
we
yes.
got Borderlands to think about here.
I know. I do have quite a bit of fun with that game.
Oh man, there's so much Borderlands to Borderland.
Mm.
But anyway, that's not what we're talking about now. We might hit that later.
But Season 5 has just started, so they've done a huge level update for the Battle Royale side, which you guys maybe will look into. I know we don't actually enjoy playing that, but just to look at, just so we can
Yeah.
knowledgeably talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not my favorite mode. I only like going in there with friends, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But they had a really cool marketing campaign for it. Some live action trailers. And now in the world, objects from the real world have made their way into the Fortnite game. They've also released vehicles in the form of golf carts.
I have seen that. And they have shopping
Yes.
carts that you can ride in, right?
And they have shopping carts that
I
you
think
can
they've
ride
done
in.
that too.
You just can't go straight for tanks. You gotta start small.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
Meep, meep. Golf cart with like a machine gun on the back or
Well,
something.
let's think of it this way, Arcadius. A golf cart is way easier to balance in a PvP setting
Yeah. It is.
than a tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like an open-walled tank. Let's put it that way.
It
It doesn't have
runs
walls
on a
to deflect
battery.
bullets.
Runs on a battery. Okay.
Is it actually limited on how long it'll go in the PvP?
Fuck if I
Does
don't
it
know.
actually have a battery meter? Like
I don't
once
know.
it's out, it just becomes a brick.
I don't know if they did that or not. Probably
curious.
not, considering PvP, their battle royale does not really last all that long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty short-lived.
Yeah.
It's basically probably a glorified scooter.
Plus, they're not going for realism in this game.
Yeah, of course not.
Not at all. I also I haven't got a chance to go in there and experience it, but for a little bit before this update, they released a sandbox mode.
They did?
For people to just go in, yes. For people to just go in and experience Fortnite without the fear of death lurking around every corner. And so they also offered a golf mode. Don't quote me on
Yeah.
that
Just
one because
Go into the game and play golf?
I think so.
well, and so that's what I'm thinking about when we talked about like innovating and offering new
Feeling really tired right now.
offering new options to their players, giving them like a little bit of a change of pace if they're not actually going to purchase the side of the game that we're playing, the Save the World version. Then there's something a little lighthearted, a little less tense on that side for them to do, and it might just be battle golf. Like that could be fun. I liked playing Mario, like Super Mario Golf.
Yeah.
The ability to annihilate my opponent on the golf field, like golf course. I know sports.
Oh my
Would be really fun.
Yeah.
Knocks the ball in the hole. Goal!
Go.
Golazo.
And then everybody has that Vuvuzela thing that like pierces everybody's ears. Oh man.
Oh man.
We need to go in on some kind of stupid golf game add-on for something and then make millions of dollars.
I just gave you $1 million idea. Warrior Golf, right there. Boom.
Warrior Golf.
I mean, we're workshopping the name. We're workshopping. We'll get there. But Warrior Golf, there.
Okay.
Oh no, let me take it back. The game that I want to be brought back, and this is really going to date me, but I was really young when this game came out.
Asteroids.
Was a game called Road Rash.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It was called Road Rash, and it was on the Sega Genesis. Do you guys know this game?
I
Sega.
vaguely know of it.
It was a motorcycle racing game, and the conceit of that game was you were punching and beating and chaining your other opponents as you raced down the highway. And I have wanted to play Road Rash again since I was like 6. I want
Actually,
that game to come
I was
back.
thinking a little farther back to the N64. There was a game with like futuristic motorcycles, and you hit these little orbs, and you got like a drop that floated down to you in the form of like missiles and bombs and stuff. And that game was super fun.
Oops. Wrong thing.
I don't remember for the life of me what it is called.
Is it Wipeout?
No, because there's 2 variants of it. One company tried to copy it, and they did a horrible job with it.
It wasn't
It's
Captain
insane.
Falcon's game, was it? F-Zero?
All right, I have to look it up. Hold on. I gotta continue while I research.
Well,
I've
you
got-
know,
for the viewers, I gotta know.
Best, it might be a possibility that something like that would come back, considering they're remaking Battletoads. So,
This
Yeah.
is true.
all hope is not lost.
All
you
hope
know?
is not lost. The Netflix's version of Voltron.
That's what it was.
Is back.
Extreme G.
Extreme.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You have never heard of
I've never heard of Extreme G.
The
Okay,
shop. Ooh,
so
let's mock this fool.
It
my-
only got a 4.6 out of 5.
So, I never owned an N64. It was my cousin's, and he lived like 100 miles away. So, like every 3 or 4 weeks, when I
Yeah.
would go and visit him, I could only play it for a certain amount of time. And when I played it for a certain amount of time, I was either playing Star Fox 64 or GoldenEye.
Best game.
So, you
Also
know,
best game.
dude, Star Fox 64 is amazing.
I mean, it might have been released in 1997, but I still remember it. It was legit.
I mean,
And
okay.
it was multiplayer. So you
course,
could either
of course.
do a battle arena of just straight up blow each other up, or you could actually, do the race thing. But everyone knows that the battle arena is where it was at.
The battle arena. So what? Did it worked like Twisted Metal?
Yeah, a little bit. Like these guys would have pioneered the concept that Twisted Metal was built on, and you basically had this big open arena with all kinds of jump ramps and loops and hideaways, and you just had to seek each other out and wreck it up.
Nice.
A lot of fun. I totally
Sounds like
remember
fun.
it vividly.
There's the balloon. Should we get back on topic, or do we want to keep?
Yeah, that was a serious derailing, but it was worth it.
Well, no, we only got a couple more things to talk about, but since we're on and off topic, let's get off of gaming just for a second, because this is really cool tech news. Did either of you guys get a chance to look at the Disney's new stunt robots?
I've not yet. No.
Oh
Stunt
my
robots!
gosh, guys! So I found a video about or not a video, a link to the story on The Verge, and they had a link to, I guess, some video that was released on Twitter by Disney.
Uh huh.
And the headline was, Disney's flying stunt robot double can pose just like a superhero.
Really?
And then the humanoid, yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and he's like being lit. He leaps into the air, moves his arms up and back like the classic Superman "I'm about to fly" pose,
Uh huh.
and then he rolls into a ball and lands in the net.
Huh.
Okay.
It is stupid cool, guys. Like, you should really look at it. And all I could think about is like, what, like they I keep on saying like they're planning on using this in the theme park, but what if this is going to be applied to like our movies now, and so there'll be a much better blend of
Well, it's probably a much
special
cheaper Star
effects.
Double.
Well, but it'll
Just
be a
saying.
better blend of special effects and practical effects.
Yeah. I mean, Disney is never going to look at one thing for one application. They're going to be diversifying like crazy. They've lasted for however long. And they own just about all of the IP right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I imagine that it's going to be showing up in various other places too.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, if you guys get the chance, don't forget about it. Just go and look at it because it's the future, guys, and it looks kind of cool.
The future!
The future.
You'll get
Alright,
your
next on
newspaper
the
in your
list.
toaster when you pop out your toast with your eggs that are also in the toaster. 1950s voice.
That's
My
how I want
nuclear
eggs
powered
in me.
car.
I want it with the 1950s voice.
Please. So I guess since we're kind of in the media realm, this is another topic that we can segue into. Showtime has just
Oh, yeah.
released information on a new show that's in development, Halo. That's right,
Yerp.
Halo is finally going to get a television show on Showtime. What do you guys think?
Well, I think they
I hope
announced
they
this.
actually have Spartan action on it, because I'm worried that it's going to be like this backstory type thing, and it's like you know hear murmurs and see reference to the Spartans, but you never actually see them in action.
Well, that was the way it was in Forward Unto Dawn. That's how they
Yeah.
worked that. That was like the fall of. I don't want to say it was Reach. It may have been Reach, but that was the way that worked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which direction they're going to take it, but
My opinion,
what
if
I
you're
do
doing a Halo
know,
series, it needs Spartans done.
yeah,
End
absolutely.
story.
But I know that it's been. I know at one point Steven Spielberg was tagged to the project. I don't know if he is or not still, and that they announced this back, I think, when the Xbox One was debuting. So it's
Yeah,
been
there was
a
murmur
really
about
long
it then,
time.
but it pretty much fell by the wayside.
Yeah. I hope it's good. I'm probably not going to be purchasing Showtime in order to watch this. I'm probably going to get it from somewhere else. But, yeah, I want it to do well. I really would like this kind of really bad way that traditional media has portrayed video game media to go away. I would really like a good product that people can reference to pop out so that they can say, hey, this can be done well. Let's put more of our resources into this. They did it with comic books to an incredible degree, and they might be able to do it with video games too. But I think we've already talked about that part on another show.
Well, just to see if this raises your interest level at all, they have already ordered 10 episodes for the first season, so that's like a tightly contained narrative in 10 episodes. They have attached the showrunner for his name is Kyle Killen, maybe Kyle something. It's Kyle K. We're gonna call him Kyle K. Who was the showrunner for the NBC series Awake. I don't know if any of you guys ever watched it, but it was really good, and sadly only got one season. But the show itself was a really interesting premise, and it starred one of my favorite actors in it. And just as just a really quick recap, there's a guy who was in a car accident. It came out either right before or right after. What's Chris Nolan's film, the sci-fi film?
Christopher Nolan's?
Not Memento, and definitely not Batman, but the one with Leo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And they went to dreams.
Oh, Inception.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the name. It was either right before or right after Inception. So this guy was in a car accident with his family. When he goes to sleep at night, he wakes up, and one in one universe, his wife is alive. In the other universe, his wife is dead and his son is alive.
Okay.
And so he's trying to figure out which universe is real. And if he decides to choose one, will the other member of his family like cease to exist? And so it had a really interesting like light sci-fi aspect to it. And they just did a really good job with it until, they found out they weren't going to have a second season. But they ended the show well. They just didn't, have the same type of episodes they did in the beginning. Anyway, he's attached to it. And then the filmmaker who just recently did Rise of the Planet of the Apes and the Exorcist TV series, Rupert Wyatt, is scheduled to direct a couple episodes from the series. So it looks like they have an experienced showrunner, critically acclaimed director, and we have a studio or a company, Showtime, that's eager to compete with HBO on the sci-fi drama plot point.
Okay. They're not going to beat Westworld, but good luck to them.
Look, I'm not saying they are, but they want to have something that can like be mentioned in the same,
breath
as Westworld. Yeah. So.
Well, if I ever have more time than I know what to do with, I'll watch Westworld.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good.
You need to. I don't watch it, but I'm just telling you.
I watch it.
And tell me about it.
I watch it. It's amazing. It's really cool the way that they worked it all. I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's just good. You go and see it. Ugh.
So Halo's getting a TV series. I kind of feel like TV would actually be a really good, tightly scripted TV would be a really good medium for video games. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I would really like it if they went into traditional media and had a universe to pull from, but did not put in like a main character from a video game. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, kind of like Sci-Fi is doing their show Krypton right now, maybe. Where
kind of. Yeah.
Where they have this universe of Krypton, but it's the place itself has never really been explored that much in comic books because, it's a destroyed planet. So everything usually is like a really short story that takes place in the past. There's not a lot of background or lore attached to it. And so they just have like this whole place that everyone knows about that they can just play around in. So they have the recognition, but they can create their own stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which might...
right.
Definitely like that.
Oh, so the other question I had about this, I'm sorry to keep on cutting you guys off.
It's cool.
I'm super excited. They at E3, they obviously announced the new Halo video game.
Yep, Halo Infinity, right?
Halo Infinity, which would essentially be Halo 5?
It would be okay. So here's the rundown of how Halo went. We're not doing Halo Wars. That's dumb. So Halo. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had Reach, and then you had Halo 4 and Halo 5.
Yeah.
So this would be like their
Halo Infinity is kind of like an offshoot of the Halo Wars style of platform play, I think.
Yeah, they haven't really said much about it. A lot of people are thinking that was just an engine demo. That they weren't really going to be doing anything with Halo per se, but it was more of a, this is what our engine can do.
I'd buy that.
Well, I was just curious if there's going to be some kind of big Halo-esque rollout with the new game, the new television series, and then, I don't know, a new comic book or your graphic novel kind of thing to tie all the media together. And it kind of made me wonder if this is going to be a Defiance kind of idea where the video game takes place in the universe that they've created for the television show or vice versa.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Not really know enough yet, just from one vague trailer video that they showed, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Could it be that we are currently in the speculation zone?
Oh, totally.
The speculation zone! Yeah. My favorite place to be.
You have entered the speculation zone. And then you do like the Twilight zone sound, but it has to be off key so we don't get sued.
I can't
Do
sing
do
off key,
do
I'm
do 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 do.
Oh God, please don't make it stop. Oh.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Huh.
I think that
What?
covers
Do
what
we
got for
want
now.
to hit Guild Wars?
I think that I don't. If we get off on that, we're probably going to be taking up a lot more time than we have.
Might need to
But,
leave that for another time.
Yeah, there are two
well,
things that
There's
we
a
got.
lot of meaty content behind that.
Yeah, there are two things that I think that we could do, and one of them we definitely have to do. I want to know you guys' thoughts on why Borderlands 3 is taking so long. Because Arcadius and I were talking about this the other day while we were double necromancering the absolute shit out of everything. And it was so much
OP
fun.
mode.
Oh, it was so good.
It's criminal how good it is.
It's amazing. Necromancer is life, by the way. We were talking about that, and
Thanks, Danny.
Arcadius quite quickly brought up the notion that this game really towed the line on a lot of things, and that
How's that?
Let's
he
just
was
say the
wondering.
current social narrative with regards to guns and destruction in current society's chapter doesn't sit well. And I'm referring to like the glorification of these mass shootings that the media has done with, you know, the Vegas thing and then the other school shootings that have happened. So the timeliness of this game, it might actually be ready. However, the PR flack of poor taste would probably bury them. Even though they don't really care about what people think, at least they say that, they kind of care a little bit about what people think. And they're like, you know, it just might not be a good idea right now. And that's probably what they're telling themselves.
Well, I couldn't.
That's
fault
not to say that games haven't, you know, very blatantly come out with controversial stuff where the developers could care less about what others think and the current social media and all of that whatnot. But like I said, Borderlands kind of has a unique take on some of the way that they script and do things. So I have a feeling they might actually be slightly nervous about this next release because they're always going to take it a little farther and do a little more, only this time if they try to do that with the way things currently are and the overhyped and oversensitivity that people have now, it seems, towards certain social events and things and content. I mean, everyone's got an opinion, but as of lately, apparently everyone thinks their opinion is the most important, and they're going to screech and holler like it is. So,
Well, to them it is.
My
definitely.
disagreement doesn't come with what you're saying. It just, the first thing I immediately think to myself is that, but Rage 2 is coming out.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I know.
true.
That's why I said that's how I said kind of. I'm not like, oh yeah, this is absolutely the way it's going to be. No, it's like again, Rage 2, it does have, you know, its own kind of story, content, and type of game that it's affiliated with, which is pretty much don't care about social current events. This is the game, and this is what it is. Here's the plot. Have fun. And gamers are going to play it because they don't care about what's going on. They can disassociate societal norms and media apart from their own digital enjoyments. But the rest of society can't do that very well. So there's something to be said about that.
Now
Might be
I'm
tiny.
very curious.
But it's a remote, very remote possibility.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that their problem is coming from the idea that the way that they work their idea around the glorification of guns is a bad thing to Borderlands. Borderlands has always been about the crazy ass guns that you can get. I don't think it's ever going to change, really. If they changed that up, it wouldn't be Borderlands anymore.
You're in an apocalyptic, anarchist type environment. That's the setting of the game.
Yeah. What I do think is that they're having a writing problem. And it's because after recently coming back to Borderlands and played it, a lot of the things that they poke fun at is not really accepted in the current culture any longer. Like, we have, there is a huge amount of fun poked at little people and dwarfism in the game, and to do that now would be kind of a faux pas, and that was kind of one of their gimmicks. Another large thing that they poke fun at in Borderlands is stuff like suicide, which is taken much more seriously and looked at much more critically than it was when Borderlands originally came out. And that's not a bad thing. I think that it has some positive societal aspects to actually taking a lens to these various things that we stigmatized in the past. But the way that Gearbox writers worked these things meant that they can't really do that anymore the way that they used to, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Like, the current methods that they used to write, they can't just rehash and continue on like normal.
Yeah. The writing would not be as well received. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be almost analogous to when Vass and I were playing the pre-sequel, which was written by not as good of a writing division, and none of the jokes landed, and we weren't entertained, so we stopped playing the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to disagree with you because I really think this is good conversation. I think these are really valid points. But I'm also going to ask, did either of you, to Scorch's point, because I like to be a naysayer apparently today, I don't know what's wrong with me, but did either of you guys see anything about the latest Far Cry DLC?
The Vietnam one or the Mars one?
The Mars one that was just released.
No, I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Okay, so I was taking a look at it because like I said, I believe this is the game or the DLC that my friend's writing made it into.
Mm-hmm.
Like his tooltips made it into. So I was looking around for stuff about it, and IGN had like the first 20 minutes of the game on their website or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy the DLC?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not going to.
All right. The general premise is that this, guy from Montana is riding home after going to get like diapers and food for his family, and he gets a phone call from his best friend, who's like, "Hey, dude, I am in a bad situation. Can you come and help me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can come and help you." And he's like, "Good. I'll pick you up in a minute." And so he's abducted by aliens, right?
Yeah.
The voice of the guy's best friend, his name is Herc.
Oh, yeah.
The main
I know
character is
Herc.
Nick. Yeah, Herc, voice actor, probably popularized in Borderlands 2. He's Scooter, or Borderlands series, he's Scooter, right?
Yeah.
That guy.
The AI in the game is, oh gosh, what is the Firebird's name?
Lilith?
Roland's girlfriend? Lilith. The AI is Lilith.
Oh, really?
And the writing felt very Borderlandy to me.
Really?
Huh.
Yes. Just for those 20 minutes.
That's
So,
interesting.
my take is that it is very serious, but I don't think it's that level of complexity with them. I think the game is taking a while because Gearbox had a little bit of trouble. They may have lost some talent, and they need to make sure that this game is near perfect. It's a game that's too big for them to fail.
That makes sense.
True.
Yeah.
Especially when Rage 2 is coming out, and
It's going to be a competitor to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a competitor, and it actually looks pretty good. Like, I've never played the Rage games. I don't know what the gameplay is going to be like, but I was pleasantly surprised by it at E3. It got some good PR for me, or not PR. It gave me good PR, is what I meant to say.
All right, I can see that point too. Definitely.
Regardless, we should probably see something about it next year, right? Right?
I hope so. I mean, is it too much to ask to see it at PlayStation Experience? I think that's in September.
I think it might, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I almost wonder if they're going to wait. Are they waiting for the next console generation rollout? Is that why you think they're holding off?
They haven't really said much about it. They said, oh, yeah,
Exactly.
it's delayed to, I think they said 2020 now. So it's possible that they're just...
Say, this is too close. Why don't we just give ourselves extra time and wait for the next console rollout? And then they could potentially wager some deals as an exclusive selling point for the new console?
Or even having the option to purchase it on two different mediums, kind of like that one game that we don't like to mention.
Destiny. We don't like to mention Destiny. That we mention every show.
Seemingly.
Look,
I mean,
I'm a jaded ex.
Scars are
okay?
meant to be talked about. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're watching right now, why do you think we're taking for? Excuse me, why Gearbox is taking forever with Borderlands 3?
I think it is a combination of things you brought up that they don't know. They want to make sure it's nailed down to a T, and unfortunately, the way that their timeline is working out, their perfectionism is bringing them close to the end of the console that they're technically designing it for right now.
Yeah.
So
I think it might be a whole mixture of things. I don't know if we're ever truly going to know the whole story behind all this.
Until
They usually,
well after it comes out.
They usually like to keep a lot of, studio problems hush-hush as long as possible.
Because studios are so interchangeable with people, they keep studio, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Studio rumors, I guess, and things of the like to an absolute minimum because these people interchange between companies so often.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, if you're listening, and I know you are, DerNami Gaming is a safe place, safe space. You can come and share your feelings with us. We're here for you.
You hear that,
and
Mr.
we only get
Pitchford?
about maybe 10 or 20 views, so it'll be very...
Yeah?
It'll be very quiet, very private. You can bear your all.
Are you including the 4.5 people that listen to us on multiplayer?
Yeah.
Multiplayer plug, nice. You can listen to this cast on
Boosh!
multiplayer Mondays.
It's on Dash Radio. Go to Dash Radio, look up multiplayer. We're there.
Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Is it 2 p.m.? I thought it was like 11 something.
That's
We're on
Pacific.
multiplayer.
Oh, it is. It is. It is Pacific. Oh well. So should we finish this off and actually get to
Yeah, let's wrap it.
what it is?
The moment that everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah, the whole extra person that's been waiting on all of this. We're going to RTX Austin in August. We're going to be there, but we got an autograph code that we don't really want to use because we're not that invested in having somebody scribble on a napkin or whatever. So we thought we'd give it away and boost our channel a little bit. And I specifically put up a video that outlined how you could get our autograph code, and we had various people follow all of the steps to get the code, and randomly selected off of all the people that entered, we selected Charlie Garrett as the person that's going to be getting our code. We're going to be getting in touch with you tonight, either tonight or tomorrow. We will find you, at least on YouTube. If you answer, that's completely up to you. And then we will arrange for the code to be dropped in your hands soon.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yep. And we may have other giveaways in the future. I don't want to,
Totally gave it all away.
like, yeah. To use an
Yeah,
apt
but there
term,
are giveaways
sure.
in our future.
Yeah.
There are more giveaways in the future. Be excited. Be excited to be a part of DerNami Gaming, because we're looking out for you, and we want you to enjoy the things that we enjoy. And so we have more contests. We have more giveaways planned. Hopefully, or maybe some will be around the corner. And all you need to do is come to our channel, follow us, and you can know when the next prize will be given away.
Yeah. So are we done?
I think that about wraps it up.
Okay.
Wraps it up.
That's it. You can follow us on all the social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be one of the 4 people that, is watching things. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.